let's talk about the best parts of the M4 iPad Pro, which no, Griffin, I have not purchased yet. I know that's coming. Yeah, I have not purchased one yet.
Preemptive.
I am probably going to buy one though, because this is, I think, in my opinion, the biggest leap forward in iPads that we've ever received. And I definitely want one, but I'm going to wait for it to hit the refurbished store. I don't need one yet. That's the problem with the iPad. You just never need to replace it. They last like 15 years, or until you crack the screen, or your kid cracks the screen right after you buy it. That's also an option.
That is the voice of someone who has definitely had that happen to them before.
And my dad was like, I didn't know putting my knee on it would hurt it. Oh, well, I guess we both learned a hard lesson today. You learned that iPads are not indestructible, and I learned never buy a brand new iPad for your kids. Sorry, Griffin, I digress.
Well, anyways, we've been talking about the iPads for a couple weeks now, but Ed Hardy has he's the iPad guy at Called It Mac. He uses it every day for his only computer for doing all of his work. So he is really the guy to do the review of this, and I've picked out a few interesting details from his review that I don't think we've really heard talked about elsewhere. The kind of stuff that you can't get, just from reading about it online. So, what stands out most about Apple's new tablet is that it's noticeably lighter and visibly thinner than its predecessors without compromising any of the other features. The screen looks better, the performance is improved, and the battery life is unaffected. It really is amazing. The nearly quarter-pound decrease in the weight of the M4 iPad Pro makes laying back on the couch and reading undeniably more comfortable. The M4 iPad Pro, here's an interesting tidbit, is 50% thinner than the iPhone 15 Plus.
Wow.
We all knew that it was the thinnest Apple device ever, but like 50% thinner than a current model iPhone? That's kind of crazy. The screen of the M4 iPad Pro, utilizes what Apple calls Tandem OLED technology that stacks two OLED panels on top of each other for greater full screen brightness, which we'd heard about. But to get a different perspective on it, Ed spoke with Ross Young, the CEO of Display Supply Chain Consultants, who said, quote, Tandem OLED panels significantly boost emitting efficiency, lifetime, brightness, and reduce burn-in. One of the suppliers of the Tandem OLED panels on the iPad Pro, LG Display, has indicated that Tandem panels offer 1.5 to 2x higher efficiency, 4x higher lifetime, and cut power consumption by 40%, while boosting brightness by 30%.
I don't understand how they implement a tandem OLED. I mean, once you put two OLEDs together, isn't that just one OLED at that point?
It's two separate panels, but it is driving it as if it's one display. So like from the iPad's perspective, like the processor is only drawing the screen once and sending that out of the display controller, but then it's just outputting that to two separate panels that are stacked on top of each other.
So is it like one in the top half and one in the lower half?
No, they're actually like two displays that cover the entire surface of the display, but they're just on top of each other, like on the Z-axis. So like one, like sandwiched, like an ice cream sandwich of display.
So this kind of goes back to our maybe conversation last week, where if you have two of these panels together, neither of them ever needs to get as bright or reach their max brightness, which is what I think causes burn-in. If you have OLEDs that are too bright for too long, it can cause burn-in. So maybe that's how they achieve a reduction in burn-in. Anyway, sorry, you're probably going to read this in the next paragraph. It's probably in there. I'm just taking.
I bet that's it, because like I have an old iPhone 10 that I got from a friend when they upgraded their phone, and like it looks perfectly fine in normal usage, but if you turn the screen completely white and turn the brightness up, you can see exactly the sorts of things that burned into the display. Like you can see a little square from where the Apple Maps app shows the speed limit sign. You can see like tabs on the bottom of the screen that are burned in from like the Facebook tabs that are on the bottom of the Facebook app, like stuff like that. So I bet I'm really interested when they're going to bring a tandem OLED display to the iPhone. If ever, maybe this year, maybe next year, maybe it's such an expensive technology that it'll be a while on a lower margin device. I don't know. It is also the first OLED tablet panel with what is called a rigid plus thin film encapsulation substrate.
Oh.
I don't really know what that is, but Apple required the panel suppliers to chemically etch the single substrate from 0.5 millimeters down to 0.2 millimeters, making it even thinner. So That's partly why it's so thin. iPad Pro models with 1 terabyte or more of storage also come with a higher spec version of the M4 chip with 10 cores. iPads with a lower spec storage get lower spec chips with only 9 cores. I believe we knew about that. And I think the open question was, well, how much of a difference is that going to make? Is it, do you really need to avoid the lower spec model? But Ed ran some Geekbench tests. He got a multi-core score of 13,273, whereas the higher spec models score about 14,600. So from that, we can learn that it's really not a significant difference in speed between the two. You don't have to worry about getting the one with all of the cores. Finally, a lot of people have been asking and, writing, spewing thousands of words in the iPad discourse about, why do people need so much power? Why does an iPad, need such a powerful chip? The iPad OS is wasted. Well, it turns out that like the thin design seems to be like largely enabled by the efficiency gains of the M4. Ed writes that without the M4, a larger battery would have been necessary, and you can see that the like physical capacity of the battery has gotten smaller, but it actually offers improved battery life because the M4 is so fast and efficient. And that's only enabled with like the latest generation of Apple Silicon. And he concludes that finally, the lightweight of the M4 iPad Pro is a real game changer. It means I use the 2024 version more than its predecessor, and honestly, it makes my iPhone seem thick. So,
well, this kind of ties into the whole iPhone Slim discussion, which is a really interesting new product direction for Apple to create a phone that is going to be so slim that they think it's worth calling it the iPhone Slim. And it seems as though what they're doing with the iPad is coming in iPhone 17. And there's going to be like a slim option. Like this is a preview of where we're headed for iPhone 17, it seems. If you could get a phone that's slimmer but sturdier, more rigid, and have it have the same battery life and better performance, but also be significantly slimmer, like I don't know if that's exactly where we're headed, because they're removing the backlight from iPads, which I think allows them to make the iPad much slimmer because now it's OLED and it's self-illuminating in pixels and stuff, and you already have those in the iPhones. But if you could make something that's super slim but also extremely rigid, obviously that's going to be a big part of it, right? We don't want an iPhone 6 situation on our hands.